Some news just from Kerala, where there is a huge protest that has been organized by the Popular Front of India against the Chief Minister in Kerala. The showdown comes after the controversial hate rally of the Popular Front of India. Radical Islamist group called the Popular Front of India has in fact been upping the ante in the state of Kerala, where they are extremely active. Right now these pictures are coming in from Kerala's Thiruvananthapuram, where a rally has been organized by the Popular Front of India against the Chief Minister of Kerala. Remember, this comes at a time when there have been arrests in connection with the hate rally that was organized a few days ago by the Popular Front of India in Alleppey, after which arrests were made when provocative and hate slogans were raised by the members who were participating in that rally, members of the PFI, including one child whose video issuing a threat to Christians and Hindus had gone viral. There have been arrests in this case and the PFI is retaliating. They've now organized a rally against the Chief Minister of Kerala, this in Thiruvananthapuram. Pictures of chaos and confusion from Thiruvananthapuram, where the Popular Front of India has organized a protest march against the Chief Minister of Kerala. This comes at a time when members of the PFI have been arrested in connection with the hate rally that was organized a few days ago in Alleppey. Akshay Nath has more details on that story. Akshay, give us an idea about the current situation as far as the law and order in Thiruvananthapuram is concerned and how it is being handled, the manner in which members of the PFI have in fact protested right on the streets of Thiruvananthapuram.
Well, I think that PFI leaders are a march and they're marching towards the CM Pinarayi Vijayan's residence. And this is a march against the Kerala government in Thiruvananthapuram conducted by the PFI, stating that the kind of action that has been taken against the people, around 26 of them who were involved in raising harsh slogans against Hindus and Christians. And it was seen that a child was the one who was involved in raising the slogans, and we have seen people, around him echoing that slogan and repeating the slogan. And a very serious action was taken. They were taken into custody, and now we are seeing that the PFI leaders are conducting a march towards CM Pinarayi Vijayan's residence. And we need to be noted, multiple times these kind of issues have been raised in Kerala in the recent days. We'd also seen another PFI leader even criticize the Kerala High Court for the action that was taken by the court. He had even said that, the court is becoming too stuffy and becoming intolerant towards several sections of the community. So the PFI is now really taking a very hard stand in Kerala, and in the pictures you can clearly see them marching towards Pinarayi Vijayan's residence.
The PFI has taken a position against the Chief Minister of Kerala. This comes at a time, Akshay, when there are several concerns about these very provocative rallies and statements that are being issued by this radical group. Arrests have been made in connection with the rally that was organized a few days ago in Alleppey as well, isn't it?
Remember that a few days back in Alleppey, that rally had its child-raising slogans against Hindus and Christians, and the father of the child had also come justifying the act, and even said that during the CAA and NRC protests that happened in Kerala, these kind of slogans were raised. And back then, if there was no problem, why now was the question that was raised by the family? But it seems like a very strong action has been taken by the Alappuzha police, who had taken into custody 26 odd people and had also filed cases against them, including the father. But now we're seeing that the PFI members are now staging protests against the ruling government, stating that the action that was taken against them was injustice. But Sneha, we need to remember the kind of slogans that were raised. They were threats in a way to the Hindu and Christian communities in Kerala. So that was not something that could be tolerated. It was something that the Pinarayi government had taken quick action about. But now we're seeing that, against CM Pinarayi Vijayan itself, the PFI is facing a massive protest in Kerala. Thiruvananthapuram, which is the capital city of the state. But it needs to be wait and see how the CM government is going to take into action this situation also. We're seeing that police officials are present and they are trying to stop the crowd from progressing forward also. The situation is kind of tense in Thiruvananthapuram right now, Sneha.
Absolutely, situation is tense and politically, Akshay, the government has been accused of shielding all of these groups for a while now, and that is something that the opposition is going to be talking about, especially the BJP trying to carve out its own space in the state of Kerala, isn't it?
Well, yes, Neha, the BJP has been trying to make inroads into the state of Kerala. Especially, we are seeing that the Congress and the Communist parties are the ones which have been in power in the state of Kerala for a really long time. But now with the BJP trying to make inroads and bringing out strong faces like Suresh Gopi and the like, this kind of an issue that has come up because of the PFI seems to be like one that is giving inward road for the BJP. We're also seeing in the Sabrimala issue also the BJP and the right-wing parties making a strong stand. And now the kind of threats, slogans that were raised during the Alapura meet, and further to that, we have seen again in Alapura last week, senior PFI leader had commented against the Kerala High Court as well. So all these comments in a way are paving way for more right-wing people entering into Kerala. But the Pinarayi Vijayan government is trying to act neutral here. You need to also remember, Pinarayi Vijayan very recently had said that CAA and NRC will not be allowed in the state of Kerala. He had also tried to say that the kind of statement which is made by Amit Shah in Siliguri in West Bengal, wherein he said once COVID issues are going down, then CAA and NRC will be implemented. That statement had once again sparked the controversy in Kerala with Pinarayi Vijayan's one-year government stating that they will not be allowing CAA and NRC. So taking that context into the PFI situation, we need to remember that slogans that were raised in the PFI at Alapura were very similar to the ones that were raised during the CAA and NRC protest. So how is the Communist Party, the LDF in Kerala going to deal with this? This is something that we'll have to wait and watch.
Well, absolutely. It's going to be a tightrope walk also for them, Akshay, given that there are concerns on one hand that they would be upsetting a certain section of the population. Also, on the other hand, that they've been accused of going soft on the Popular Front of India, both the left and the Congress, for the longest time. But this is going out of hand. Look at the situation. A few days ago, viewers, there were protests that were held in Alleppey in which hate slogans were chanted against the Hindus and Christians, even by children. Arrests were made, because of which protests have now broken out in Thiruvananthapuram against the Chief Minister. Akshay.
Well, involving children into these kind of rallies itself is something that needs to be questioned at this point of time, Sneha, because, innocent children are also being dragged into politics there. And we've seen that the slogans that were made to be chanted by the child was something that was trained by the PFI itself. So how are they to justify this is something that we'll have to, really question and reassess. And if you see the kind of rituals that we're seeing outside the place where the protest is happening, it's getting very violent, it's getting very tense. We're seeing that, police officials are trying to do everything possible to get the crowd to disperse from the location. And it is a very, very serious issue that is raising. And the law and order situation in Kerala is also being questioned at this point of time. Because, the government being lenient towards these kind of protests is also the reason why we're seeing these kind of intense protests in Kerala. Right now, water cannons are being used by police officials.
Be with us, Akshay. Just coming back to you. Rahul Ishwar is now joining us on the broadcast. Thank you for your time. Your reaction to the chaos that has spilled out on the streets of Kerala and Thiruvananthapuram, where the Popular Front of India is holding a protest and creating ruckus against the Chief Minister.
Absolutely. This should not be called a protest. This should be called a racket. Especially as a Malayali who lives in Trivandrum in Kerala, it is unfortunate to see such scenes here. And please remember, Kerala is home to some of great Muslim organizations like Muslim League and evolving MES and so many other organizations. But Popular Front of India is an Islamic-leaning hardline organization who was responsible for the chopping of hands of a Christian professor. They killed a comrade called Abhimanyu, and they have been accused of so many things which have been proved right in the court. And they even had the audacity to raise a chant by a 10-year-old kid saying that Hindus and Christians should be taking care, otherwise, we'll be coming to finish you off. So there is absolutely no tolerance to a hardline Islamist organization like PFI. I hope government takes serious measures to rein him. And Kerala High Court just 10 days ago said stronger actions are needed. And why don't we have the long arm of law reaching out to Popular Front of India? So I hope Chief Pinarayi Vijayan, the left government who has been at tacit understanding with PFI at any point of time, reconsider their position and take strong action, because even by his own admission, 100 people from Kerala went to Syria to join ISIS. This is the admission by the Honorable Chief Minister of Kerala, Chief Pinarayi Vijayan. The former Communist Chief Minister, Sri V.S. Achuthanandan, went on to say that Popular Front want to establish an Islamic state in Kerala. So our mainstream Muslim brothers are against this Popular Front. It is the responsibility of the civil society, media, and also the state to crack down on hardline extremist-leaning such organizations and to take action.
Rahul Ishwar, thank you for your time here. Time to take action is what Rahul Ishwar is saying. Has the left government and the previous Congress government gone soft on the Popular Front of India, and is this the time to ensure that there is a crackdown given the kind of tensions that the Popular Front of India has been creating in Kerala?